Formula One action, and Scotty Moir has switched his traction control off, and after having issues with setup there, hadn't had enough time on the bike. He was in pole position, but already Sloane Frost, I'm pretty sure that Sloane Frost goes into the lead there. Is that Sloane or is that a Tony Rees? No, that's a Honda there. That's Tony Rees there. Scotty Moir tries on the outside, a former lap record holder, with Frost sitting there, well, not sitting, going flying in there in third place on the TSS Red Baron Suzuki GSX-R 1000. Somebody else goes up on the inside of Frost into third spot. Action aplenty. They all sort of slow up for that corner. A bit of argy-bargy going on there, but certainly action aplenty right out in the front. I've got to say that's got to be Tony Rees out in the front. Where did Tony qualify? Tony qualified in second place. It was Scotty Moir, Tony Rees, Sloane Frost, Mitch Rees. Outstanding performance there in fourth spot. Alistair Hugenbosom on the BMW, Dan Medham, Hayden Fitzgerald, Glenn Scatchell, Jay Lawrence, Livio Zamperi, Connor London, Jamie Maynard, Aaron Chambers, Robert Whittle, David Sharp, Brendan Code, Frank Merkinger, and Sam Sharp. That's 18 bikes. They all disappear out of sight in the first lap. It's looks like it's a 9-lap race, or 8-lap race, sorry. It was listed in the program as a 10-lap race. But, yeah, the latest Cemetery Circuit Decade book is out. I do have copies for $20 up here in the commentary box. Just respect that we've got work to do up here. We are entertaining the crowd and ourselves, of course. So when you come up here, just sort of wait for me. I've got a few copies of those, and also one copy of the Cemetery Circuit board game for Christmas present if you want. There's Scotty Moir's team cheering Scotty on there as he goes through here on the number 8 machine in first place. Very tight at the moment. Tony Rees in second. Mitch Rees there in third place. Sloane Frost, we've got someone running off on turn 1 there. That's one of the Kawasaki's, not quite sure who it is, but we will pick up who that was. That probably Glenn Scatchell there. Bit of a moment there after winning the pre-89 class, and a couple of the new Kawasaki's out there. Also Adam Chambers, welcome back Hastings, Adam Chambers. He's been in Perth for a few years. The racetrack over there closed down. He got a couple of ZX10s and is now in New Zealand and ready for action, and dicing with his old teammate from 600 days, Dan Mettam. So Adam Chambers running the number 64, Dan Mettam running the number 34. It was the first double-digit number that young Dan Mettam could say when he was a young fellow. The Superbikes are spreading out. The lap record for Formula One, 27.797s. I did call it Superbikes. It is Formula One rules here. Most of the new bikes at the front end are indeed set up for the New Zealand SPK Championship class in the Superstock. That's how far motorcycling's moved in the last year. It's that flying Scotty Moir, a former lap record holder here at in the Superbike class. Not sure whether he held the F1 class. The F1 lap record 1:27.797 is held by Jaden Hassan. Sad to see brother Aaron Hassan had a big motocross accident the other day and is out for the season. That is disappointing. A 1:28.203 for Scotty Moir. The father and son team, Tony Rees with Mitch Rees there, about 4 bike lengths between each other, about 30 bike lengths behind Scotty Moir there. Sloane Frost there on the Fujitsu TSS Red Baron machine, 4th spot. We go back to 5th, and that's 34. Dan Medham in behind him is Hayden Fitzgerald on the 52 Yamaha. And then we've got the BMW N1 Motorsport Valvoline sponsor machine with Alistair Hugenbosom, a top runner, running different tyres to most other people. Bridgestones he's running here at the Suzuki Series. Going to do the Cemetery Circuit for the first time, and I can see him doing well at the Cemetery Circuit. He's done plenty of street racing before on Superbikes, 600s and bucket races as well. So looking forward to seeing the team M1 Motorsport back out there at the Cemetery Circuit after a year off for racing while the team owner had surgery on his leg there, Neil Ritchie.
Yes, indeed, Spider, and welcome back to M1 team, Moggy and the crew. Just fantastic to have them back and really giving that BMW influence. And think of the pilots that have been involved in that team over the years, and people like Sloane Frost that helped to get the break to be in the racing where he is these days. But certainly for me, the man of the moment in motorcycling in New Zealand, full stop, Mitch Rees, folks. Keep an eye on this guy. Now, if you see a magazine called Dirt Rider, this guy will often be on the front page because he can still be one of New Zealand's premier off-road motocross riders, and he still loves motocross. Like younger brother Damon, he decided, I'm going to road racing. He left motocross behind and sold his bike, but not with Mitch. You'll still find a CRF 450 in his garage and an opportunity to take one. And look at this, the new bike, and this is what I thought was so good with going to the new bikes, that he wouldn't find the adjustment as notable as what Tony will have found it, because he just got so used to that bike, having ridden it that similar model that was effectively the same out of the Honda factory, even though, of course, they would change a few things. It was basically the same bike for many years, whereas Mitch, of course, was just getting so much experience. And as well in the Burt Munro last year, I had the opportunity to watch Mitch beat Tony in those terrible conditions for that street race on that day. So Mitch has done it before and learning so much from Dad, and what a special opportunity for the Rees family. Look at that, a 2-3 out there in some very good traffic, but I'm getting excited with my good mate George out there, and well done to the team Promoto. George Moyer, he's just looking down there. He probably can't hear us because he's concentrating on what's going on with this Suzuki team, so well done. This is Taupo, folks, and for you Taupo people, looking out for this. And special thanks to our mate Charlie as well, Carl Vandermeer of Carl Vandermeer Builders. He saw the potential in this man. He's been behind him and supporting him in the pits and off the bike for a number of years, and now here's Scott. And when you watch his young son sitting on the bike, that's got to be one of the nicest photos on Facebook that I've seen all year, to see his young little man there. He's got a real passion for the sport as well, and I'm sure it's given more heart to Scott as well. So come on Taupo, get him behind him. Taupo's own Scott Moyer, and of course on this brand new bike as well. So great to see Scott performing so well. So Scott Moyer, Tony Rees, Mitch Rees, Sloane Frost, Daniel Metten up there as well. So a Suzuki and Honda battle, but it's all the Scott Moyer show here at the moment, Spider.
Dan Metten had a win here in the New Zealand Superbike Championships too, didn't he? It might have been a red flag race, but still Dan Metten has taken a win. So Dan Metten on fire and was absolutely spectacular at the cemetery circuit. We see Scotty Moyer coming out of turn 2 into turn 3, followed by the two Hondas back 150 metres, father and son. Tony and Mitchell Rees there. Shame to see Damon Rees sidelined with the leg injury he sustained in Australia some months back, and will be out of the season, possibly coming back for Hampton Downs Superbike round as well, but he'll be itching to get back out there. And the interesting thing with Mitch Rees is he didn't follow the same path as his brother Damon did, and went 600 racing near the Superbike. He chucked straight into the Superbike field, and you can see the number 6, that's where he finished in the New Zealand Superbike Championships last year. And Mitch certainly on fire. What are we talking about in terms of lap times? A 1:29.139 for Tony Rees, a 1:29.100. So Mitch the fastest by 40 thousandths of a second. And then you could just about throw a blanket over these two, and there'll be a few giggles coming out, wouldn't there, Neil?
Please, not the imagination, Spider. It doesn't do my mind any good, but certainly is from a racing point of view. Look at that from Scott, and then keep your eyes on it. What's Mitch going to do? Well, I don't think he'll make an attempt to overtake Tony, but man, can he do some learning. And look at that late demon braking, come into the corner. Beautiful to watch as he hones it down there, and looking out for Chopper, and behind him Sloane Frost, and Sloane to snuggle in there at the moment. So what the Rees father and son duel have got to watch, that in fact they don't slow each other down. So even though Mitch mightn't be going for an opportunity to push Tony too hard, they've just got to watch that they're not going too sort of stop-start or hit-break, off-break kind of thing. It'll just give that opportunity. As I'm seeing Sloane Frost, I think Sloane's going to close in on those boys. So looking good at the moment. May not have been so good from the start of the race, but Sloane looking better. It was 0.7 of a second when they went across the line that time. If you look at that margin over there now, I'd say that's only about a 0.3 or a 0.4. So that is looking very close indeed. So watching this one at the moment, and all of those three riders are aware of each other's performance. What does that do? Makes the racing better for those, but what it does do as well is give Scott Moyer an even bigger advantage out in front, because Scott's got no worry around. In fact, there'll be points on the track where he won't even be able to see them, hear them or smell them. So a nice little break from the Taupo hero Scott Moyer on that Suzuki New Zealand Carl Vandermeer Builders Reliability Foundations Red Path, along with Promoto, Dyno Lab, Taupo with ASR, Kiwi Saver, NZ, along with Motorex Oils, KSS Suspension, Pirelli, RST, AGV and EBC. A whole lot of great people behind this great town of this great young rider, Scott Moyer, leading the first race in our Suzuki series, of course, on a Suzuki.
Here comes Sloane Frost. He was 0.6 of a second quicker than these other two riders in the last lap. So now it's bang, bang, bang. Tony Rees, Mitch Rees, probably 6 bike lengths between them. Another 6 bike lengths back to Sloane Frost, the man who's also prepared most of these Gixxer Cup bikes. During the week goes up to Whanganui and prepares these, and just a lovely guy to have around the sport, and he's right on the tail of these two Hondas. It's bang, bang, bang as they go round turn 1 with Scotty Moyer 100 or so metres in front. 2.6 seconds Scotty Moyer's got out there. 29.1. Oh, look at that. The fastest lap for Tony Rees, a 29.1 flat. A 129.1 flat for Mitch Rees. Matched to the thousandths of a second. Remember a few years ago in their qualifying, we had 3 riders circulating around within 1 thousandths of a second for about 5 laps here in the qualifying. So absolutely down to the 100th of a second, matching their lap times, fastest lap times, perfectly. Mitch has got to find a way through. Sloane Frost is itching to find a way through there as well as they come out of turn 8 here at Taupo Motorsport Park.
Yes, indeed. And Spider, I like your words when you choose what a great man to have around them for that Gixxer Cup and the work that Sloan, or Chopper as we love him. I've known him now for 26 years since I followed him from junior motocross days, and his lovely family and the great support that they've done. And I say family, of course, mum, dad, and the likes of super sister Kim. She's always been on board to support them as well. So fantastic family and great to see. And also for the fact that Sloan came to the MNZ AGM and conference this year as well, and added some input from the point of view of being a top rider as well. And I love that when people are putting it back in that way. So good to him. And of course, huge amount of politics during the year, which many of you will be aware of, and we're not going to go down any path of that. But what we are saying is still a top road racer. And here it is, white flag time with 1 lap to run, and it's all Scott Moyer out in front. But I tell you what, this run now for that second place is anybody remembering a podium's the top three. One looks to have it, but one of those riders is going to miss out. We won't be interviewing one of them. Who's it going to be? Can we see Sloan get up there? What's the pressure going on now with this 1 lap to run, and how important is it to get up to that extra placing? So watching him as they fight back. Remembering, of course, the points allocation for this is different to the New Zealand Road Racing Championship. It's not a 25-20-16. This goes to 25-22-20. So watch the different points, because this method of point scoring actually favours these mid-pack runs. So it doesn't make that gap as big between the first, seconds and thirds as the our FIM road race point scoring system uses. So now you'll find, of course, it might only be 2 points to separate from as it were, Tony back to Mitch and Mitch back to Sloan. I tell you what, when it comes down to the wire, we're only going to see 2 points for the man that misses out. So this is going to put a lot of excitement into that next Suzuki, a Way of Life sponsored Formula One race. And Spider, we're going to go down to the wire on this one. Can the Rees Wall hold back Sloan Frost?
Well, looking at the lap time, Scotty slowed into the 129s, but the fastest man there, Sloan Frost, 128.92. 128.94 for Mitch, 128.96. So all these three back-to-back, they're coming into the turn 13, 14 chicane there. The final corners for this Superbike race, the Formula One race. Scotty Moyer's going to take the checkered flair there finally on the Vandermeer Builders there. It is Tony Rees. Mitch Rees throws his hands in the air, and Sloan Frost goes through and takes a very, very tight fourth place. 128.808 for Tony Rees. What was the lap record? We're off that time, 127.797, so about a second off there, but 128.808 for Tony Rees. A 128.303 for Scotty Moyer out the front. So it was Moyer on the number 8 machine on the Suzuki. Tony Rees, Mitch Rees, both Honda riders, Suzuki. Then we had Alistair Hugenbosom, a lonely race for him. On the 43 machine in 5th place. A good solid start to the season. Well, I did do the 6 hour the other day, Alistair Hugenbosom did, but a good solid start to the season on the new Bridgestone tyres. New to Alistair Hugenbosom, got 5th place. Daniel met him. Then Hayden Fitzgerald. Jay Lawrence is someone we haven't mentioned. Jay Lawrence on the TSS Red Baron. Carl Cox Motorsport machine, like Jamie Maindottle. Wow, that's good for Jay.